I would not be afraid to re-record some of your questions if you need to. Now, you do get into a thing, we re-record all our questions because we always have to re-record one, because maybe you asked a question, the guest answered something completely different, and it's genius, right? But the question you asked does not make sense for the answer they gave. So we may have to insert one or more questions, and you do want them to sound somewhat similar. You don't want to sound that all the time, but there are earlier examples on the podcast where you can hear I re-recorded one or two, and the best way to do that is to record it in the same space with the same equipment that you use to record the interview. I also wouldn't be afraid to move your material around. So I told you that sometimes, our guests bring up technical language. So with the task and gang system of slavery, that just came up in a conversation, and the scholar just mentioned like, oh yeah, the task system of slavery, blah, 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 and went on. And then my immediate follow-up was, for those of us who can't quite remember our textbooks, could you explain to us what the task system of slavery was? And in that particular case, what I did was I took her answer and then inserted it in the original answer. So when she said task system of slavery, and then it said something which is, and gave you the definition, and then listeners could follow along with the original answer. And I just cut that extraneous question, that extra question out. And sometimes you just can't because of the way the conversation added, but don't be afraid to ask and leave that follow-up question in to make sure that listeners are really understanding what the guest is trying to convey to them.